November 17th, 2025. This morning before market opening, I absolutely put a post out there that if the market inches its way up to China highs, we should be watching for rejections to go short. Uh, Market screamed up directly to these China highs right after open and went short. So I think that was pretty obvious move. If you wonder where China high comes from, it comes from way over here when Donald Trump, um, when he, I just switched charts, when he announced that he was gonna add 100% tariffs on China or something like that a little while back. And then we had that huge bearish engulfing day, which was right here. And see, this is the high. We've been rejecting off this level pretty consistently, and we now have overhead supply above there. So great place for rejection. Um, Financials in the S&P 500 basically got wrecked today. The chart on financials looks really, really bad. And if you look over here at sectors, it's starting to look like ours. All sectors are basically selling off again. We didn't really see any kind of significant rotation today. So I think we open up a little more trouble below 662.75, and then we really start opening up the doors for more trouble below 653. Of course, all this could change after NVDA earnings. It could change after we get economic data on Thursday. But the way things now stand now, it does look to me like we're potentially forming a top in the market or a bearish reversal. But it's not definite yet. All right, so same thing happened on QQQ, so I'm gonna go ahead and just skip that chart. Let's go over to IWM, the Russell, because it's got a trade I like on it. Switch over here to the daily. You can see we got this huge, crazy, multiple head and shoulder reversal pattern at the top. We got some thin structure over here from right here. So let's go over to the hourly chart. And it just has been breaking down, probably because the market thinks we are not getting interest rate cuts anytime soon again. So what I am looking for here is if and when IWM breaks 231.55, any lower highs below, to target this 225.65, and that level you can find on the weekly chart. Let me just zoom in. It's basically this level right here. Good spot for a higher low on the weekly chart. So I think if we break this, get a lower high below, we're most likely targeting this 225.65. Okay, continuing on, looking at the Google chart. It had a gap up over the weekend due to Buffett's fund buying a whole bunch of Google. After market open, it attempted to break back out to the upside. That breakout failed, and it is now back inside a range. So we have a look above and fail. We have a gap below that's left. So I would be looking if we can get a lower high into this gap tomorrow, possibly to close this gap or maybe target the 280.50 level on Google. Moving on to Tesla. I've been waiting for Tesla to break down. Instead, it went up today, but it didn't make a lot of progress to the upside, really. So what I'm looking for, instead of a lower high off of 412.50 now, I'm basically looking for a lower high below the 396.70, then to target 386.25, then 365. Once again, once it gets to 365, I would definitely look at that as a level for buyers to step back up. Of course, this trade only kicks in if and when we get the lower high below 396.70 and not before. Next one I want to look at is MU. On MU, we have also had a failed all-time high breakout today, back into range. So what I am looking for here is lower highs below 240. Wait. 46. Okay, nope. I am looking for it to rally and reject 246.85. So if it rallies to this level and sellers pick it back up, looking to go short there to target 240.35, and then probably look to hold runners past that with a lower high below 240.35 to come down and target 231.45. Disney, same trade that I shared last Friday is still a valid setup. It just has not happened yet. We're just waiting for a lower high below the 105, and there is tons of thin structure to the left-hand side. Plenty of room for it to go much further down over here. Okay. Next one I want to look at is app. On app, we have, just zoom in. Let me zoom in so it can be seen a little better here. We have this gap below, this mutated double top or something like that, and then a gap below, so lower highs into the gap, 528.80, target 508.10. Invis, also a trade I shared. Can't remember if it was this morning or last week or whatever, but regardless, it's still a valid setup. Double top up there. We are inside of a gap. We have inverted hammers on the daily chart. Lower highs below Friday's opening print, 82.35, target 75.45, or possibly the entire gap fill. But I would suspect probably a partial gap fill for the time being. That concludes my favorite trades. There's a couple more that I'm less interested in, but maybe could still have some interest in. First one being Hood. Hood broke down pretty nicely today. Be looking for lower highs below 113.75. There's thin structure to the left. Also, Hood, when it broke down today, it was on much larger than normal volume. And there's also a gap to fill below here. So lower highs below here. Maybe sell some contracts at 110.60 and then lower high below that, targeting gap fill. Microsoft. With Microsoft, maybe lower high below 506.25, targets 498.25. Kind of this thin structure to retrace over there. Semi-thin structure, I should say, from the last time it blew through there. Amazon, I guess we should look at a a bullish trade just in case things turn bullish for some reason. Higher lows over 233.50 to the long side, targeting up towards 238.75-ish. Let's take a look at Meta. Meta. If and when it can get above 614.75, higher lows above that to retrace this big red bar over here to 628.30. And Palantir. I really don't like this trade. maybe a rejection of 171.25 short. Uh, that is all I've got for now. Like, subscribe, follow for more daily or semi-daily trade ideas and market updates. I'm out.
Always one pip away!
There I was, a struggling trader,
Climb, baby!
always on the edge of almost becoming profitable, but still making the same mistakes day in and day out. My mom always nagging at me.
Do something with your
Finally,
life.
I discovered technical analysis wasn't
I've
the
been
problem.
doing this for years.
Trading
I know
psychology
it's not
books
gonna
were
work.
not the
I need
problem.
better
I was the
self-discipline.
problem. I wasn't tracking my data and using it. This kept me in a losing loop. Then I discovered Strategy Forge, a journal that had custom tags, built-in artificial intelligence analysis, strategy playbooks, smart goals, and all the analytics I would ever need. Finally, I could afford that diamond grill I always
From
wanted.
edge dweller to bling boss, strategyforgejournal.com.
Use code STRATEGY for your first 6 weeks free or 3 free months on an annual plan. Act now. This deal won't last forever. Go to strategyforgejournal.com. That's strategyforgejournal.com and use code STRATEGY.